everybody. My name is Meredith Galloway, and I'm pleased to be representing Sacramento State University in the student research competition. Please join me today as we talk about my research, The Policies of Promise, which analyze what educational leaders and policymakers could do to increase student success rates at California community colleges. All right. Come on in. So we've defined our problem in terms of scarcity. Here, too few California students complete a college certificate and training. This is in strong contrast to parent and student goals, which I cited in my research paper that I turned in for this project. So out of 1,000 ninth graders, only around 30% are able to continue the pipeline all the way through and obtain a bachelor's degree. This is not only in contrast to their stated goals, but also in contrast to the economic demand in California. Other research that comes out of the PPIC estimates that we will face over 1 million worker shortage of skilled workers, that is, obtaining a bachelor's degree or a certificate. So here our research focuses on what we are calling the largest leak in this pipeline of continuity, which is at the community college. Students who desire to obtain a degree at the community college and or university transfer, how many are able to do so? So the scope of our challenge and opportunity becomes immediately apparent when we interrogate this system. So out of 108 California community colleges, which is all the colleges that were existent in 2007, which is when we start our study, we have data for 5 cohort years, beginning in 2007 through 2011, which gives us a total N observation of 540. Now, these are institutional observations, so we are looking to analyze what can institutions, educational leaders, and or policymakers do to impact the amount of student success and completion at their community college. Here we've geo-referenced all of them, so you can see the scope of what we're dealing with. Note how many are concentrated in the San Francisco Bay and the LA area. And once we map the data, our problem becomes immediately transparent. Too few students who desire to seek a degree or university transfer are able to achieve their goal. The mean completion rates for their students, which it is their goal to complete, is under 50%. So 46% is the mean completion. Here, our completion rates geolocated and mapped for you for all of the community colleges. Again, 108 included in the study. These are over all the years studied. So again, 5 cohort years. And the range of the data with standard deviations is also geomapped for you. So again, the range of that completion is 30 to 64%. It differs at institutions. The lighter the color, the more yellow, the stronger the institution is doing. The darker the color, the more red, the poorer the institution is doing in terms of standard deviation for student completion. Now, these are for all students. Watch what happens when we change this depending on student preparation and student economic advantage. So here we have mapped disadvantaged and unprepared students. Note how the mean shifts. Now our mean is under 40% and our range enlarges. So we've got 25% all the way up to 56%, again for our least advantaged students, economically disadvantaged and unprepared. Now watch again as we shift to our most advantaged students. Look at that giant jump in means. So we have under 40%, it jumps all the way up to over 70% are able to obtain their goal. So not only is our problem too few students who desire to seek a degree are able to do so, but also this goal attainment highly varies by institution, student preparation, and student income. So our analysis interrogates what leaders could do to impact these disparate outcomes. So our method is a panel data regression. We're analyzing for time and institution fixed effects. And we actually do this 9 times as opposed to 1 time because our model includes not only for overall student achievement, but also by levels of economic advantage, by levels of student preparation, and then the intersectionalities of those terms. So that gives us 9 different dependent variables. So we're running 9 different panel level data regressions, and we're doing so in Stata. And again, here our research question is, what policy actionable variables matter for California community college student attainment of their goal of degree or university transfer? Our Actionable variables that we've identified from the research literature are credit sections offered, class size, time of day available, the percent of low-income students who are enrolled in a program designed specifically to meet their needs, here the EOPS program, and the percent of faculty which are concentrated as opposed to part-time faculty at that individual institution. Now, our research has also told us we need to control for other variables, including student demographics, such as low income, the amount of full-time course taking, gender, age, race, and ethnicity. And of course, because this is running over the recession, we're also controlling for time effects as well, understanding that economic exogenous to the area would definitely impact student incentives to continue in enrollment in college and or enroll in general. We use Stata to do this. It is an XTCSS panel data regression that includes college fixed effects and time of cohort effects, and that is due to the heteroscedasticity and autocorrelation that we found in this data set. So we have controlled for both of those in that Stata method. Our findings are as follows, and I know it looks a little scary, but I'll walk you right through it here. So our findings are done at the p-value level, and you can see those denoted below. I know they're a little bit covered by this, so let me move that so you can see it. We have here, again, all 9 of our different regressions that we have run. I'm going to move myself around just a little so you can see, again, all of our 9 different cohort models. And we have modeled here 2 different pieces of information for you. So we have modeled here the impact of the change if an institution were to implement a standard deviation change. And also we've modeled the coefficient value. Now today we're going to limit our discussions just to what was statistically significant. So we found for credit sections, that increasing the number of credit sections was negative for student completion and success rates anywhere where it was statistically significant, which is perhaps somewhat counterintuitive. But again, as a regression holds all other things constant, including funding here, increasing the number of credit sections was a negative rather than a positive. Also, somewhat counterintuitively for some of our people, increases in class sizes were largely positive across all of our cohorts where they were statistically significant, except for, note that disparity, for economic disadvantaged yet prepared students. Holding classes at any time other than the daytime was largely negative for students, including for overall student outcomes, which we interpret to mean that classes held at those flexible times, evenings, weekends, are usually only advantage for students who are already able to take advantage of them. Maybe our economically advantaged students might fall into that category, but for everybody else, the daytime classes were the most salient, and holding classes other than daytime didn't prove to be an advantage for them. Our participation in EOPS is a strongly positive result. Again, I'm going to move myself here so you can see it. Our EOPS program had a strong positive correlation. So this is really a success story of rising tides, lifts all ships here. So even students who aren't involved in EOPS, they did benefit from EOPS participation. And finally, we've got percentages of full-time faculty. We've got this disparate finding. So percentages of full-time faculty increases had a null effect on overall student outcomes, and they had a positive effect for our least advantaged students, unprepared and economically disadvantaged. They had a negative effect for prepared and otherwise economically advantaged and prepared. So what are our key takeaways? We recommend investing in that EOPS program. A rising tide lifts all ships here. It is salient not only for students who are in EOPS, but for their peers. Retaining larger class sizes, except when specifically targeting economically disadvantaged student success. Offering daytime classes, and recognizing that there are strong trade-offs in hiring full-time faculty or increasing numbers of full-time faculty. I want to thank you for viewing my research today. I hope to answer any of your questions in our time together. I'm Meredith Galloway, presenting from Sacramento State with the Policies of Promise. Thank you.